Hi, Ashley. Welcome to the Pet Buzz.
Hi, Dr. Fleck and Charlotte. I'm thrilled to be part of your program.
What does AMP stand for?
All My Pet Services.
Oh, I
Oh,
like that. All my pet
I have to remember
services.
that one.
It's
Like
kind of a mouthful, so we shortened it.
So, Ashley, where's the best place to find a pet sitter?
There's a myriad of choices to go for when the pet parent is looking for a pet sitter. So there are big networks such as NAPS, which is National Association of Professional Pet Sitting. There's Pet Sitters International. There's also Google. Research pet sitters in my area. You'll find a lot of very good references through your local veterinarian. Usually we'll have a list of referrals that they'll have ready to give you of trusted providers. Also, another really great resource is post a social request looking for a pet sitter. Do you guys have anyone that you use that you would recommend? Word of mouth is really big for our industry. And if you have a personal reference, that means the world, because not only do you like the website, you like what they have to say, but your friend likes them too. So that helps a lot.
Before meeting with a pet sitter, what important qualifications must they have, and why should pet owners ask about these things?
One of the most important things that a care provider should have is references, that they're insured, that they're bonded, that they're clearly professional, that this is something that they do full time. That they're truly dedicated to their purpose and their mission in providing the best care for your fur family that they can. And so one of the things that you can do is pre-vet them, check out their website before you even make that first phone call to schedule meet and greet. And another thing about this industry is it's booming. So hopefully the experience the pet parent will have when they begin their search is an abundance of options. So you really have the option of looking through several choices and then whittling the list down to the final 5 that maybe you'll call and ask for more information. And at that point, just make sure that they're insured, they're bonded, they're professional. This is what they do full time. And find out, kind of get the vibe from them. Is this going to be the right fit for your family? Because that is key.
Most of them that come on board, do they stay at the residence the entire time, most of them? Or do they maybe have another position that they're a job that they have and they come and stay maybe in the evening? Is that what the general practice is?
So another really great thing about the abundance of choice is every sitter will provide their own style. So maybe one company provides, say, overnight care services, whereas another company does more of the daily drop-in visits spread out throughout the day. So if you wanted more of a nanny type service where they're in your home most of the day and overnight, that's a very important thing to distinguish when you're speaking to a company is, what is your style? How do you operate? What services are available from you? Because again, the schedule that you want and the services that you want for your babies is the most important thing. And if this company doesn't provide it, there's more to choose from.
Some people do want the full-time nanny experience, right? That can be cumbersome because usually pet sitters, especially in the summertime, in the summer months, are really, really busy. So it's very difficult to find that one pet sitter who can literally live and move into your house. Is that true, Ash?
Correct.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I like to focus on too is when I am contacted by a client, a prospective client, and they want a service that maybe I don't provide, I take the time to get to know my industry colleagues that are locally living. And I like to have a list ready to go myself for them of, well, I don't provide this service, but I know who does, and they're amazing. And this is how to contact them to make the client's experience. Then maybe I can't service you as a pet care provider, but now I can service you this way. So you don't have to keep hunting through the internet for a good referral.
Why should pet owners seeking to employ a pet sitter always ask about an emergency plan?
I like to say during the meet and greets that we need to make a plan for when there isn't time to make a plan. So when you have that initial meeting and you're going over care details, you're talking about schedule, one really important piece to not overlook is the emergency plan. If something happens, if I have a health concern, if I come in and there's an emergency happening in front of me, if during my visit something comes up and I can't reach the pet parent because maybe they're on a plane anything could happen. So I like to have a plan established ahead of time where the pet parent and the pet sitter are both very clear about what to do, how to handle the situation, what they're allowed to do, what the owner would prefer. And really just keep that clear communication about the steps to take should they not be available to help.
Once you find a good pet sitter, it's someone who really is really part of your and your pet's life. It's like finding a good veterinarian.
I would think another thing that's important too is because the pets are maturing more, living longer,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore sometimes like people need more medication,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that pet sitter has that capability.
Yes.
That'd be probably pretty important too.
Sure. And I'm sure not everyone at your place of business gives medication. I'm sure certain people like to do it.
Yeah, my experience actually started in middle school as a veterinary technician being trained on the job. So I come from that background, and whenever possible, I try to, even if the person on my team has never had that kind of experience before, it's like, well, let me show you how to do this. So now that we can build your skills set up. So it's not relegated to just a few members of the team who can do certain jobs. Everyone gets up to speed and can provide that care. Because
Excellent.
if you have a family that you're bonded to as the care provider, and then for just a short stint, there's some medication that pet needs, I want you to be ready to be able to incorporate that into your services that we provide for the pet family adeptly, so that the pup doesn't have to now meet a new person because they can give meds. We like to keep it as consistent as possible.
Sure.
What if your dog or cat likes the pet sitter, but you feel uneasy?
At the end of the day, your peace of mind is key. So your pet may like this person, but if you don't have that connection with them, again, with that abundance mindset of this is a booming industry, there are many choices, you have the opportunity to continue to interview. And I like to tell people to consider that meet and greet as that. It's an interview as much for the pet parent to the sitter as it is for the sitter to the pet parent. So if you as the pet parent aren't 100% signed on, excited to work with this person, keep interviewing. It's worth it.
Once you hire a pet sitter, can you discuss expectations for the client and the pet sitter? How is that formed?
So one of the most important things that you'll, as a pet parent, receive from the pet sitter is their contract. So this will have everything about who they are, what they do, how they do what they do, and how to contact them. And what to expect from them. So in addition to the verbal communication that you're going to have with them during the meet and greet, this is on paper what you can expect that maybe covers things that you didn't get a chance to speak about in the actual meeting face to face.
How can a pet owner be assured that their pet sitters are visiting the home based on their expectations?
Yeah. So one of the really great things about modern technology is we have all of these apps and services, and we have software for pet sitters to use. So one of the things that pet parents can look for in the care provider that they choose is, what do I receive as a pet parent when you come to visit my babies? Is there a visit report at the end of every visit, or do I get sort of a summary of what your day was like? In addition to what the care provider themselves may send the pet parent, I am a huge fan of pet cams in the living room, in the main areas of the home where the pet usually likes to spend their day in between visits or when the care provider is there. Have a camera that maybe it doesn't record, but that you as the pet parent can check in on them whenever you want, and you can see how they're doing. If there are any concerns, maybe between visits, that would let you then call your care provider and say, hey, would you mind running over and checking because I think there might be a problem. So it really covers all the bases on both ends, what you receive as a pet parent from the care provider, as well as checks and balances that you can have at home to be sure that everything is going as smoothly as it needs to go.
You're living in Bradenton, Florida, or you're living in New York. What kind of costs would somebody incur to have this service?
It really depends on regionality. So if you're in a smaller town, you can expect to pay much less than someone who lives in a much bigger city. But another thing that you can do while you're doing your initial interviews, while you're checking around to see how everybody operates and choosing the ones that seem to be the best fit for your family, is get a general price quote for the typical service that you're going to want to book all the time. So if you think you have a cat and you're going to want at least one 30-minute visit a day, how much do you charge per 30-minute visit? And then you can get a baseline range on your own really easily to get kind of a feel for not only does this care provider vibe check with my family, but also it's within my budget and I'm happy with their prices.
Pets are more comfortable in their home. I'm sure we all
Absolutely.
agree, right, Ashley?
There are two kinds of kids. They're the kids who love summer camp. They thrive, they make friends, they do great, they have fun. Doggy daycares, boarding, you get it. There are kids who prefer to be at home.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it really kind of depends on what your family and what your fur baby is comfortable with. And like you said, Charlotte, there are many, many animals because they know their home, they know where they are, they know mom and dad are coming home again. They're very comfortable. Pet sitting is a great option for many families. And sometimes, as you said, Dr. Fleck, boarding is the best option because they just don't do well when they're home alone. So it's
Sure.
a very customizable service. And I love the breadth of services available to families for their varying needs.
Can you give us your website?
You can reach us at allmypetservices.com. And thank you both so much for this opportunity.
Thanks for viewing our content on Pet Buzz Plus.